If you're starting out as an info operator or an agency in 2026, then I'm sorry, but you're fucked unless you build real authority and do it properly. Most operators think they can spam the Dream 40 list they've built and loom their way to 10k months, or maybe bait a random coach or creator asking, do you sell one-on-one mentorship, to get their first client. Bullshit, I don't agree. Meanwhile, these people, they're all getting ignored because everybody's doing the exact same shit. They've watched the exact same videos, learned from the exact same people, and followed the exact same templates. That's the whole point. It doesn't work. There's 10 times more operators than there was 2 years ago too. And I don't believe in saturation, but at the end of the day, more means more, especially if you're doing copy and paste. Everyone's got some Notion template, and your I help coaches scale bios. All your positioning is just funny as fuck. We work with clients doing 50 a month, up to 100 a month, even pushing past 200 a month with some of their info offers. I've also helped literally hundreds at this point of operators and agencies over the years land their dream clients after being stuck for weeks, months, even years as well. Having shiny object syndrome, not knowing what business to do, trying a bit of this and a bit of that, not seeing success until they've worked with us and landed their dream clients and started to make consistent income. And believe it or not, all of this isn't from just spamming or getting lucky like everybody preaches. So in this video here today, I'm going to show you exactly how to pick a real niche using the 5 criteria framework, leverage what you already know to build instant authority and become the guy for that specific space, so you get inbound instead of begging for replies. And even when you are doing outreach and you are asking for replies, it's warm. It's not super cold. You're going to get told no. It's like talking to a brick wall. It's warm outreach and warm inbound where you can land clients on autopilot. So here's what's happening right now. Your dream lead list is getting 10 plus DMs a day from people just like you. And that's on the smaller side. They're probably getting way more than that. Everyone's got the same templates, the same scripts, and the same generic positioning. It's just bullshit. Everyone's spamming these same DMs, and I've only got like 1,000 followers. And look at all the shit I'm getting. And look at their profiles as well. I mean, one good example here. No offense to you, brother, whoever you are, but look at this. Hey, quick sanity check. This is clearly some bot bullshit. If you suddenly doubled your inbound tomorrow, would you be able to handle a volume without breaking the pipeline? Okay, whatever. Click on the profile. This guy. Like, what the fuck? No, I don't want you to double my inbound. What? Okay? So if you see that, that's what happens when you're just another growth partner, or whatever you want to call it at this point, in their inbox. There's no authority, no leverage, there's no replies. You can't just out-volume this market anymore. No one's just like, the people who are beginners and didn't know what they're doing before, they were just praying and hoping that, eventually I'll land on somebody who's not being pitched yet. They don't know what info is yet, and they might get lucky. That isn't a thing, especially anymore. Maybe if you started out 2 years back, you could have got lucky 1 or 2 people who aren't really chronically online, who hadn't been pitched too much, and you could have got a client. But not now. You need to actually be good at what you fucking do. And if you follow the steps, I'm going to show you how to. But you have to be willing to work hard, because this isn't easy. So, you can outposition the market, but that starts with picking a real fucking niche. So now let's move to the framework. This is where most operators mess up, and it's the main core of this that I want you to understand when it comes to picking a niche, finding clients, and then actually landing clients as well. So the 5 criteria framework. We need to get precise before we get into this. Generic niches, these markets don't work anymore because everybody's doing the same thing. The 3 markets, every info business is inside one of these 3 markets. Firstly, we have health. I'm sure you've seen it. Gym offers, fitness offers, lose weight, feel better, look better, anything along these lines. We have wealth. So a lot of the biz op investment type of offers, trading, e-com. It's make money, save time, grow business, anything like that. And then we've also got relationships, dating, marriage, social status, confidence, anything like that is going to come under relationships. So these are the 3 core markets. People get that confused with niche. So let me kind of break this down a bit clearer for you. Here's the difference between a market and a niche. On the outer layer here, we have a market. So when someone says, I'm in fitness, that's a market level, that's health. If somebody says, I help middle-aged men lose weight, that's niche. This is niche right here. But sub-niche, the X marks the spot right in the middle. You may have heard of this, you may have not. When somebody says, I help middle-aged dads with a full-time job lose weight, that is sub-niche. And if you can also add a unique mechanism onto this, like I help middle-aged dads with a full-time job lose weight with my XYZ strategy, you want to put a name on it, a method, even better, right? So let's get into it. That's the difference between all 3, and this is where you want to be. So why the sub niche wins? Here is why I'm so aggressive, and you can literally talk to anybody I've worked with, and I get angry at them for not having a sub niche. The goal is not to be an operator, right? Are you going to be telling people that in 50 years' time? You just want to be the fucking guy for one specific problem, one specific space. And you don't become the guy in a market. Look at the difference. I help coaches scale. I help businesses scale even broader. It's ignored, it's bullshit, no one cares, especially when you're a nobody. Everybody says it. Even this is not absolutely perfect. It's not super niche down. There's no crazy unique mechanism. But if you say, I help SaaS founders turn YouTube into book demos, you see how different that is. And the positioning is very different, but the offer is the same, by the way. These might look like two very different businesses, but it's the same thing. But instead of just helping coaches in general, we're helping SaaS founders, who obviously coach too, but we're turning their YouTube specifically into book demos. Does that mean we can't help them with Instagram as well? Help them with systems as well? Help them with this as well, that as well, their sales process? No, we can help them with all of that. But it's just the way you position yourself in a market to land clients. Clear outcome, clear buyer, clear lane. You help these guys create coaching offers, sell their coaching offer, and then you can even go broader if you want to after that. But you must start specific. You must start sub-niche. The specificity is your leverage. It is your authority. So when you're specific, you don't need to beg for replies and have some insane, crazy results from day one. So here's the framework for actually picking a niche that actually profits, prints cash, and makes you money. This is the 5 criteria I was talking about that your niche needs to hit. Firstly, it has to be reachable. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but some people miss this. You need to make sure you can actually find enough of these people on all platforms, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, school, X, whatever it is. If you can't reach these people in this space, then you can't help them, and it's a waste of time. Secondly, we have money, of course. We have their financial capacity. Would they spend, let's say, over $3,000 on solutions? Is the problem painful enough? Is there successful creators, coaches, consultants in this market, niche and sub-niche, charging premium prices? Because if they're broke, you'll be broke as well. What chances have you got? Third, pain. So like I said, when I was talking about the money one, do they have an urgent, expensive problem? If something's just a nice to have, it's not really worth paying for. They're not going to pay a premium. They might put $20 here and there, go spend it in the shop. But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to spell high ticket and make a lot of cash for us and our clients. And if the problem isn't big enough, it's not worth our time. Fourth, gap. Is there something missing that you can fill? If it's oversaturated, you want to find a different angle, a different mechanism to do so. But when it comes to a gap, all you have to think about is when we're selling an offer to somebody's audience, look at the audience's current position and where they want to be, their dream. And in between this is the gap. We want to sell and offer a product that bridges this gap to help them get to their dream outcome, their dream positioning, be them dream selves. Because we're not only just in this for the money and this stuff. Like, you've got to think, we are actually helping people here. And if you work with somebody who can get killer results, it's the best feeling, honestly. Number 5, the last one. And this is the one most people miss. It's leverage that I mentioned before. Do you have some sort of unfair advantage in this space? Did you maybe work in that industry? Do you know people in that space? Do you have any skills that translate into that space? Just kind of go through each one. This is what separates people who struggle from the people who straight up dominate. When you have leverage, you're not just another outsider. You're someone who actually gets it. You understand. So, some examples. YouTube automation for SaaS founders, like we said before. If you worked in SaaS, you understand their sales process, real KPIs, everything. You're not guessing and just putting a fancy name on it. Retention systems for school communities. This one's a lot more broad, to be fair, because it's not a niche, I wouldn't say. But you're getting more niche down by the mechanism here, by mentioning retention systems. But if you've run communities before, you know why people actually churn, not what gurus teach. And then lastly, LinkedIn content for insurance brokers. If your family, for example, is inside insurance in that industry, then you're going to know their language, their real pain points, their problems. When your dad comes home from work and he's like, oh, this thing pissed me off, this thing annoyed me today. That's real fucking pain points. Not surface level. These are the deepest insights of pain points because you're hearing it behind the scenes and you can use that to your advantage within that niche and you have a way better understanding. So this is just, very, very simple examples. There's way more I can give you on why sub-niches are killing it. So hopefully you see the difference. You're not learning their business while helping them. You already know it. You already understand the business. And now the only thing you need to do is build out the system and actually help them implement, rather than just spend all your time understanding what they do and helping kind of break it down. But here's what you'll need to avoid. Red flags that are going to kill your niche completely. If there's no successful creators, coaches, consultants charging over $3,000, don't do it. Red flag. If it's an entertainment-focused audience, they're all dancing on TikTok or some shit, they're not going to buy a product, get rid. If it's a declining market, it's some huge trend maybe the year before, and now it's just dipping, and it's only going to go down and down and down, miss it out. Go do something else. If it's too broad, like crazily too big, it's a huge market niche, or the other way around, it's maybe too narrow. It's too small. There's not enough people to work with. Now, if things are too narrow, it can work. If you know somebody, you've got some advantage, or you've got inbound leads or a way into the niche, it can maybe work. But other than that, I wouldn't start out and make your whole position around some super tiny, narrow space that literally you're going to send 3 DMs, and if they don't answer, you're stuck. Because then what? Back to the drawing board. And then lastly, no leverage. Obvious one. You need authority and leverage, like I've spoke about just a minute ago. So here's the truth. You can learn marketing and systems, maybe even sales, but you can't fake the understanding of someone's world. And that understanding is what makes you literally irreplaceable. Now, let me just give you an example I just thought of here. When we hire appointment setters, obviously a lot of the time, right, work with people in sales, my sales manager, and all the people we talk to, and we'll get appointment setters. But sometimes when I'm working in these super intricate sub-niches, the best appointment setters we've placed on offers before won't even be an appointment setter. We'll have appointment setters over here, and then sometimes we'll go to the person we're working with, and we'll find a few people in their audience that want to make some more money or whatever. If it's like a health-related offer or something different, and it's nothing to do with money, we can offer them this position. Now, they have no sales skills, they don't understand appointment setting, but it's actually better and easier for me to teach them appointment setting from being an expert in whatever the niche is, rather than them be an expert or good at appointment setting and try and teach them the niche, you know what I'm saying, whatever that may be. Let's just say it's e-com, for example. Obviously, it's very broad. But rather than me teach them e-com, this super specific niche thing, I can just have them already be in that space and teach them appointment setting. It's the same thing with this. If you are starting out as an info agency or an operator, hopefully if you're watching these videos, you're already going to understand what you're doing, at least to an extent. And as you watch more of these and you get involved, you're going to know your shit. You're going to be able to print results. But what's going to make you stand out now isn't that. Because a lot of people can watch these videos and learn. But if you have crazy knowledge in something else as well, that now becomes your leverage. And now you just need to get better at operating, but that's fine. That's what makes you irreplaceable. So, here's how to find your leverage and map it to profitable niches. The leverage audit and the niche mapping. So step 1, I want you to audit your leverage. You need to actually understand it fully and break it down. What industries have you maybe worked in? What skills do you have? Who do you know? And what problems have you solved? Go ahead, write everything down. You could even do it on paper. Then step 2, you want to map all those leverages to different niches. So for each specific piece of leverage, brainstorm 3 to 5 maybe specific niches where that exact advantage and leverage matters. So let me give you examples of leverage types. You've got personal experience. If you used to trade crypto, you're going to know what crypto educators struggle with. You're going to know a lot about it. You're going to know the specifics, what apps they use, what tools they use. You're going to understand the markets and the charts where most people wouldn't. If you work in SaaS sales, you're going to understand their conversion problems. With network access, a little bit different. If your brother runs an e-com store, you're going to have complete access to that world. You're going to have a network. You're going to understand it. You're going to be able to break down how a Shopify dashboard looks and works, everything. If you're in SaaS founders groups, you're going to see their real conversations. You're going to see everything going down. You understand it. You've got a network. You've got friends in that space. You've got somebody you could even just call up if you do work with these guys. If you've got a question that's niche specific, you've got friends or a network or a group chat who all do this thing that you can call up and say, hey man, can you help me with this? You've got leverage. And then lastly, family background as well. You grew up maybe around family restaurants or just restaurants in general. You know hospitality inside out. Your dad's maybe a contractor, so you understand service businesses in general. You understand how the cash flow works, how employing people works, subcontracting out, whatever it could be. And then lastly, but not least, I kind of missed this one out there, skill overlap. So you might be a developer, so you can build what SaaS founders need. You understand ads. You might have done SMMA before or some sort of ads, so you understand bottlenecks. And that's pretty much it. Once you have the leverage and authority, you break it down, you understand it, that's good. Pick your niche. But then you have to move on to step 3 here and validate that niche using the 5 criteria. So pick your top 3 niches based on everything we just spoken about and run them through reachable, money, pain, gap, leverage, like we spoke about before, and pick the winner. Now, one thing that's pretty important, I should say here, a lot of people who are watching this video and just people in the space in general don't think they have leverage, but you do, I promise. You could literally, in fact, let me give you a simple way to do it. Pull out your phone right now. If it's an iPhone, it's an Android, whatever. Go on like the voice memos app or the alternative and just yap for like 15 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes about your full life story. Just put it into ChatGPT or something, get the transcript, yap it in there, and have ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you want to use, have it help you find your leverage. Explain what you're doing, explain the plan, even give it this video, right? What is my leverage based on my experience and my life story? But you should be able to do this manually, and it's going to be better if it's manual, but I'm just giving you kind of a last safe haven if things fuck up and you really can't think. One, do that, and secondly, something I even did, speak to family, friends, find out what's unique about you, write it all down, then you're going to pick something much easier. But anyway, once you've got the top 3 niches, you've ran them through the 5 criteria, I need to make sure you don't spend more than 2 hours on this, hopefully even less. Speed at the end of the day is going to beat perfection, but I also don't want you to pick some shitty niche and make no money. So you've got to get that kind of happy in the middle, but don't be a perfectionist, because it's going to delay you and you won't get anywhere. The micro portfolio method. So once you've done all these things, you've planned it out, you've mapped everything, you've checked your niche with the 5 criteria. Now here's how you turn your leverage into authority using micro wins. Most people think they need years of experience. Wrong. They think they need crazy results. Wrong. You need literally one win, one result, and then you need to understand how to leverage it properly. That is it. And here's the system. Firstly, use your leverage to maybe find 1, 2, 3 people who need help, and not random bullshit people where your leverage matters within your sub-niche. Secondly, offer to help them, maybe for free with no setup fee, or cheap, or a better deal than most people. You don't have to do this, but I'm just saying if you are desperate, you're starting out, there's a good way. But don't make it seem like you're desperate. You need to make sure your positioning is that you're building proof. And because you have leverage, you can actually get results. Then third, document everything. SOPs, every system, every result, every process. Turn it into niche-specific case studies and content. Killing it. That's perfect. Number 4, then you can actually start creating content properly, building out your channels, posting all over, creating content that positions you as a specialist. So you're no longer doing what everyone else is doing, not how I helped a client, how this coach did this. It's how I got a SaaS founder 847 demos from YouTube in 90 days. Obviously, if you made the money and stuff, you can add that in. It's going to be even better, but this is just an example here. One small win in a real sub-niche with leverage gives you 10 times more authority and leverage than a big win in a generic market. Now, look at Tyler here. Tyler, this is the old thumbnail, but this is exactly the same system. It's the same way. Tyler ran up crazy numbers, doing firstly 14K with the first launch we started working together, then 39.6K with the second launch, and then just recently, over $100,000 on a recent launch in 1 week with a sub-niche. He helped his client literally own the eBay reselling market, and in doing so, he then positioned himself as the go-to guy in that space as well. And that is exactly how you go from having leverage to having authority. He can now spread that word, do warm outreach, get warm inbound, and post content, niche specific, with authority, with leverage. He can even run ads if he wants to, and have inbound clients consistently. And that's not by being just the best operator, it's by being the most specific with the most relevant experience. So here's the implementation roadmap. This is the important part. Exactly how to implement this in literally the next month, the next 30 days. Day 1, you're watching this video right now. I want you to audit your leverage right now and map it to a few niches. Pick your winner using the 5 criteria we spoke about before. Day 2 to 7 over the next week, research the space, look into it way more in depth, find deep insights, find the top players, join the groups, understand their language and their pains. Days 8 to 14, I want you to start reaching out, doing outreach, reach out to maybe 2 to 3 people to start with. Use your leverage to position yourself as someone who gets their world. It makes sense to you compared to other people. And then maybe in about 2 weeks' time, days 15 to 30 to finish off the month, I want you to literally just execute, get your client, then obviously start working for them, doing the fulfillment, executing, documenting, and trying to get those wins, at least ending off this month or moving into the next one. Capture everything with niche-specific context. And then moving on after this month, after day 31, you're going to be publishing case studies, creating content, becoming visible, and this is where authority starts to build. But you can't hit day 31 plus, you can't get all this authority if you don't stack from day one. So don't switch niches for 90 days. Authority takes time to compound and you have to play it right. But if you follow all of this, in 90 days, you can be the guy for that specific problem if you do it right. And obviously you're going to make a lot of money, you can get a lot of success in the meantime if you follow the steps, you do everything correctly. And look at this. This is one example. We have these in Notion, Airtable, and Sheets. We have these different trackers that help you track your niche, your outreach, everything. And this is what we implement for people we work with, where we literally tick it off with our Loom assets within our niche, pull it all their social profiles, and we send everything. We have omnipresence because we outreach across all platforms to make sure we have the best chance. We're not looking to send out 1 million messages to 1 million people. We want to work with our dream clients in our small sub-niche and use our leverage and authority to do so. And then we also track all the KPIs, results, and charts with these people we work with to help them get those results that much quicker and give them all the feedback they need. So you can implement a system just like this to start the process off and start killing it yourself. I wanted to show you for some inspiration. This is all simple. It's not easy. I want to be very, very sure you understand that. It isn't easy. What is easy is copying and paste one message to the same niche people, sending it to 50, 60 people a day, maybe across 2 accounts. But there's a reason you've been doing that and not getting results, even though everybody tells you to. The reason they tell you to is because easy things make it easier for them to sell offers to you and sell your product. They're selling you a dream. At the end of the day, this space isn't easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's simple, but not easy. So you need to understand that most people won't do this because it does require focus. You have to lock the fuck in for a little bit. But if you do, you'll have authority while everyone else spams their dream lists. And remember, once you get that first, second client, you're never going to be in the position again where you've got nothing and you're chasing people left, right, and center. Everything's going to be different from now on. You're going to get inbound leads. Your outbound leads are going to be warm and you've got proof. Everything is so much different. So put everything and all your focus into finding your first client the right way. So to recap, pick a real niche using the 5 criteria. Use your leverage to build micro wins, create niche-specific content, and become the specialist, the elite guy in that space. Using this exact framework to pick a niche is exactly how Giovanni went from 0 to 34.6K in just 7 days. Timek went from 0 to over 138K working with me directly, but has now hit over 200K a month with his client. Dan went from 10K to 66K in 2 months. He also did like a 40K a month with a webinar. Luca went from $300 a month to 31K per month. Manish went from 0 to $27,000 per month profit in 3 months, doing over 300K a month for one of his clients. Zawar went from 0 to 12K and hit 92K with another client. And then Tyler as well, like I mentioned before, went from 0 to 39.6K and then scaled recently past 100K in 1 week with a launch. So if you want to get results like all these people, make all the money, get the killer results, but also obviously land killer clients, elite clients in these great niches as well, and get access to all of our tools and strategies and systems like our AI and automation setups, our sales and conversion assets, all of our content and marketing SOPs, plus the team and operations we have done for you and done with you systems as well. And not only that, you also get a private Discord channel, one-to-one with me and my team, and you can also add your team in there if you want to and if you have one. A full 15-phase roadmap where we give you every single system that we've used over the past few years to scale up these info businesses and land them as clients. You get unlimited one-to-one access to me, direct access and one-to-one coaching calls at every single phase of the program, as well as speaking to me directly and Loom reviews and things like that I'll get into in a moment. Accountability systems, you get daily KPIs tracker to keep you on track, keep you pushing on, because I know for you guys and for me even, I'd sometimes get a bit stuck, not knowing what my next steps are, get a bit shiny object syndrome. So I built a system that I needed back then to exactly combat that with daily KPIs tracking, milestone races, public leaderboards, and implementation-based incentives to keep you winning and getting those results. We've got the Loom review system where you can send over literally any question, any problem, any asset you have, and we're going to record deep feedback looms on funnels, outreach, VSLs, sales scripts, niche, outreach, anything you're struggling with, I'll break it down fully in a video and we can jump on a call too. And you also get weekly group implementation coaching calls where you would jump on live coaching sessions with me, successful students, students at your level, maybe even below your level. And we have some guest speakers come in sometimes too, breaking down, giving you killer lessons and doing Q&As as well. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to work with me one-on-one, then click below and apply now and let's get going. I appreciate you boys watching. See you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.